Now, if I'm right about you, I can guess 3 things about you right now. Number 1 is you are really ready to do something about your weight and your health. Maybe you've recently discovered that your blood pressure and cholesterol are on the high side. Maybe you've got pre-diabetes. Or maybe you're just tired of this 25-35 pounds that you've been carrying for years and that prevents you from feeling your best and that you just can't seem to lose. Or maybe you're a mother or a father and you know you need to make a healthy change now, not just for your sake, but for the sake of your children and your family. Now let me tell you the other 2 things I think I know about you. Number 2 is that you know already in your heart of hearts that you could achieve your health and weight loss goals if you could just eat better, if you could just eat less processed foods and fast foods, if you could just stick to your diet. And here's the 3rd thing though, I bet you've already tried everything under the sun. I bet you've tried so hard. I bet you've been on so many diets, so many efforts at exercise and eating better and counting your calories and reducing the amount you eat and going hungry. And nothing seems to work. Every time you gain the weight, you just gain the weight back and you never seem to get anywhere. And then deep down, you start to think, maybe there's just something wrong with me. Maybe I'm too weak, lazy, undisciplined, greedy, bad. I just can't be that person who can eat and be slender and be happy. Well, I know all of those 3 things because that used to be exactly me. That used to be my problem for so many years and no one in my life knew about it. I struggled with my eating. I was constantly dieting. I was always trying to lose weight and I was miserable. Until that is, I discovered the homemade way of eating. Until I discovered the cook, eat, listen formula that I've now taught to over 1,000 homemade members to teach them how to cook over 60,000 homemade meals and transform their health and their weight. You'll never guess how surprised I was when I got a phone call from Mikkel Bakker, the global head of food for Google, in charge of the wellness of over 60,000 Google employees with all the resources in the world at his disposal, phoning me to say, "What are you doing at Homemade Cooking? We want this for our employees." We also partnered with Stanford hospitals and we've had 7 medical clinics referring patients to us because the homemade way simply works. In fact, we even had the chief nursing officer of one of the most respected medical institutions in the world take our program, and she was able to lose over 50 pounds combined with her husband, and said she discovered a freedom from dieting and calorie counting that was such a relief and that she'd never experienced before. I remember we had one specific member, Jose, who came to us, and at the end of just 10 weeks, he was able to reduce his blood cholesterol from 123 to 107. He was able to reduce his blood pressure from 180 over 120 to 160 over 100, and it was continuing to drop as the program ended. He was able to get his blood sugars down to the almost normal range of 6 or below, and he lost around 20 pounds in our program. His story is not unique, and I have personally created this program with input from a team of over a dozen nutritionists, holistic chefs, medical doctors, and I firmly believe there is nothing in the world that compares to the homemade cooking program. And let me tell you why. Because those 3 things I told you in the beginning about how you're really ready to do something about your health, and how you know if you could just eat better, you'd get there, and how you've tried so many times and so many diets and how they don't work. Well, homemade cooking fixes all of those issues. We enable you to become your best, healthiest self without dieting, without calorie counting, without deprivation. And I achieved my ideal weight using these principles over a decade ago, and now I eat whatever I want, whenever I want. And tomorrow you're going to hear my personal story of my transformation. But now I want to offer this transformation to you. So what are the principles? Cook, eat, listen. All you need to do is this: cook your own food so you know what goes into it. Eat whole natural foods as close as possible to the natural state, and listen to your body and practice mindful eating. That's it. So that means you don't have to go hungry. You don't have to stop eating carbs or bread or gluten or fat or meat. You can eat a rich, varied, delicious diet. And in fact, you might be wondering, what is this on the table in front of me? Well, I've just finished filming actually week 9 of Decadent Desserts in our program, and this is literally what we cooked. So here's some of the foods that you get to eat when you're living and eating the homemade way. Raw chocolate vitality balls, carrot and raisin morning muffins. This is a banana nice cream chocolate delight, and here's some blueberry energy bites. This is all real food, and this is just, one of many ways we equip you with the skills to cook fast and easy meals that satisfy and that literally transform your health from the inside out. So I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more on how you can do this no matter how little you can cook, no matter what your starting point, and no matter how little time you have. This is designed to enable you in your life and your shoes to transform to be your best, healthiest self. So stay tuned, and welcome to Homemade Cooking.